Hi, I'm Regina from Atlanta,
And I'm Carrie from Oregon.
and we are Wine Sisters of the Vine.
Yes, we are. And we
How
have a,
you doing, my sister in Oregon?
oh my gosh, I'm so great. And we have Donna Stoney with Donna Stoney Wines in the house.
Well,
We're
Woo-hoo!
hello,
so
everyone.
excited. We're so excited. This is an amazing conversation, I think, that is going to be had. So Donna, we are just so fascinated by your story, but we know that our viewers are going to want to know your story and how you got started and how this whole Stoney Wines came to be.
Oh my goodness. Well, I'm not gonna put any dates in there because I don't want to, make myself seem old. But
I would never believe you looking
I,
at
I, kn- oh, no, I know it's funny. But I started this journey probably about 30 years ago. Worked for the county, um, and just decided to start putting money back. I said I want to be a social worker and a winemaker. I knew that right away. And
wow.
so about, I don't know, maybe 15, 20 years ago, I tried so hard to get a vineyard. It cost like 1.5 million, but I just could not afford that. So I
Mhm.
said, well, I'm just going to continue my journey as a social worker and do the best I can. But in the meantime, I'm going to start putting back money. So that's what I did. I would put back like, 20, it started out at $20 and then it just started getting bigger and bigger because I was there for about 27 and a half years. And so I was able to save that money to start this process after I retired about, I think I've been retired about 6, 7 years ago. And so I thought once I retired, I said to myself, okay, I think I'm ready for this journey, this wine journey. In the meantime, though, I was retired. I actually was doing both my residential homes and the county at my latter years of my social service at the county here in Oregon. And I remember thinking to myself, this one young lady, she just was hard for her to be served. And I thought, you know what? I think I can do this. Well, I didn't think that this other business was going to grow this big. I just said, oh, I'll just do one. That should do it. And then next thing you know, it just started getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So that's when I decided to leave the county and start continue on with my residential services and then continue on with my winemaking and whatnot. I went to school, got level 1 and 2. I would like to start level 3 sometime in the fall. Probably have to pick you ladies' brains because I think you guys got this. I'm sure you got it down pretty well. Give me some, a little, I guess, advice and expertise.
Well,
So,
we have wine education down in both departments, but it's the raw practice, like you're getting, and like you're saying in your story, it's getting your hands dirty, getting your hands on
Yeah,
oh
the.
my
it,
goodness.
it totally is.
Well, that's why I'm so excited and working with this new winemaker that I'm working with, Michael Landine, out in it's actually McMinnville and at Walnut City, and getting ready to start that journey with him because I started out with Bertoni Foston at Abbey Creek and then Shadow Bianca. And now I'm feeling like this is home because I actually have a place that I can go to every year. I can go to every day and start making my wine right there with them, because I was only able to go in here and there, So it's nice to be able to have a place to say
Right.
I can actually start from the beginning to the end. So, and here I am right today after, I think it's been 4.5 years now,
That's
and
amazing.
making my wine. So
Congratulations. That is a
thank
huge
you.
feat. And the consistency with you keeping with, staying with it. I mean, it's not easy,
No,
obviously. And so the fact that you stayed with it and produced some amazing wines is great. I think it's fantastic. Carrie, I mean, we always talk about women who uh, persevere. Um,
Yeah,
hmm
and still she persisted is what we say all the time here on this
for
show.
27 years, saving money.
yeah, 27 years is saving my money. And then, of course, with this other business that I'm doing right now, that helped me continue on with my journey. I think I like that. You just have to be persistent. You have to believe in yourself. You have to know that. And I had so many people tell me, you're not going to be able to start that social service business, which is StoneyBrooke Residential Services, and you're not going to be able to do, winemaking. Well, when people tell me that I can't do something, that just makes me push even harder.
Absolutely.
And I
Because you
mean,
can do
man,
anything you want to.
pardon me?
You can do anything you want to.
Oh my goodness, yes. It's just
You work hard enough for it.
yes, and I think it's your foundation. Like I think my family is very supportive no matter how you look at my sisters, my brothers, my mother and father, rest their soul. But they were my big pusher. I mean, like my dad would tell us all the time, you don't let anything stop you from getting where you want to go. He said, because if you do that, then you're never going to, pursue what you really want. And he was the one that bought me, my dad, he bought me my first little wine shelf or whatever. And I still have it right today. So my goal is someday is that when I do get that tasting room, which that's the next thing I want to work on, I want to put that in a case to say, this is what got me started, because he was so supportive, both him and my mom.
Yeah, I totally understand that and connect with that in a level that you won't understand. You will understand this. So every shelf in my shop, my dad made, and so.
Oh, yeah.
It's a connection that keeps you grounded and keeps you pushing forward, because he started off with one, and then next thing I know, he was making all the shelves in the shop. So these are unique; they can't be recreated.
That's right.
So I understand that. So that's a fantastic story.
Yeah, it's very deep, especially since they're not here. But I realize that they are looking over me.
Oh, they're with
I have a couple.
you.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
They're with you.
Oh yeah. I have a couple of sparkling wines that I'm working on right now. That one's going to be named after my mom, and one's going to be named after my dad.
Fantastic.
Awesome. In honor of them.
Of course.
So.
Speaking of, here's your wines right here on the screen.
Hey. Yes.
We thought we would pull these up so you can share these wonderful wines, including Sister Friends, which is our new favorite label name.
Well, man, Sister Friends, those ladies, they have been in my social workers. I wanted to name a wine after my ladies. We've been together in a group for at least, I think it's going to go on our 28th year now. And basically we just would meet. We were all pregnant almost at the same time. A couple of us got divorces, a couple of us, one lady, cancer. We have MS survivor, cancer survivor, as I said, and just depression and just talking with each other. And so I told them, they laughed at me. I remember when I said, you know what, my first wine, I'm going to make a Chardonnay, and it's going to be very clear, crisp, bold, and they was like, no way. I said, yes, I am. And I don't think you could see it. I have them here, but, the back of the bottle here is that's my Sister Friends right there. I don't know if you can see it.
Oh, here's just a minute. Let's.
I don't know if it's on the.
Here, you want to put that up again? I'm on the big screen now.
Let me get my hands out of the way. So I'll get it close as I can.
Yeah.
Okay, I see them. You see them? Yeah.
So those are the ladies that, how you just you have some friends that you just never let go no matter what.
Well, they are your family that you didn't get to pick.
Exactly. And it's like it doesn't matter if, you're crying over, whatever, you can call one of them and they're going to be there for you. And I said, I'm going to do this wines, like I said, specifically for you guys, because you guys have been there for me. You've been there. We all been there for each other. And we started out meeting like every month. And as we got older, it's like every quarter now. Because, we just got things that are going on. Yes, it does. And so this is dear to my heart because I love those ladies. I don't think any of those ladies or anyone can replace these friends. And to me, because my parents had taught me that you don't show any prejudice, you don't show any kind of situation where, even no matter how bad you've been treated, you don't treat somebody bad just because they treated you bad. And so we are so different. You know what I mean? It's white, it's black, it's Jewish. I think we just got a whole bunch of it. That doesn't even matter to us. It doesn't matter to us.
Isn't that how we want things to be? Because it's very representative of how the world is. And so when we lay down the biases and the prejudice, we just are human beings. And so I think that's such a great story about you and your Sister Friends. I love it.
And my sister is in it as well. But we sit down with this wine. It goes with just about anything. You know, you can do a nice, you know, you can pair it with some seafood. You can pair it with, you know, spaghetti, pizza, hot dogs. It can go just about with anything. So you grab this nice little bottle of wine, sit there and have a nice little talk and call it a day. Now here in Oregon,
When are we
you know,
going to get more?
pardon me?
When are we going to get more Chardonnay, Donna? When are you going to get us more?
Well, I am working on that now. I'm getting ready to go bottle, as a matter of fact. I have to look at my text.
Good.
But supposed to go do that this week. Finish up that third. This is the third run, ladies. The third run of the Sister Friends. I'm telling you, it's crazy. I think it's because it's a blessing, because it's all about women getting together, hanging out, and doing whatever it is that makes you happy.
I love
That's
that.
everything, right?
And you wrote on here, the term Sister Friends celebrates friendship in our moments of laughter, tears, struggles, and healing. May you honor your own sister friends with each sip.
Yes. I mean, that put the icing on the cake. You know what I mean?
I love it.
Because those ladies, man. Well, you guys probably know. Don't you have some nice sister friends you've been having in your, you know, your heart for a long time? And
We both.
Absolutely. Carrie is one of my sister friends.
Yeah, we both have become that for each other just from a chance meeting, 5 years ago. We never saw each other again.
wow.
Yeah.
You don't even know how you meet. You just meet. All of a sudden, I mean, we were social workers, but we were all so distant. One's a supervisor, one was over here in another section, and one was over here. And one day we just say, hey, let's go out for some drinks, and then one invited the other. You just don't even know. Sometimes I think back on it and I think, geez, how did we really meet? Because I didn't even know you. And I know you sat over there, on the other side of the world, and I didn't even know you, but who knows? It just happens. And when it does and it connects, you keep it together.
Absolutely.
You and I connected too, Donna, when we had the Black Girls Wine from the Atlanta chapter that was connected by Regina. Talk about powerful connecting too. I mean, because Regina and I have this bond with each other from our connection, we got to meet the Black Girls. I got to meet the Black Girls Wine Group last June, as you know, and a month ago. And we got to go to Argyle, which is where I met you and connected with you. And that connection with women is so powerful.
Yes,
and
it is.
The synchronicities that happen. It's really nice to connect to like-minded people and women in the wine industry, and people are interested in tasting wine, but also there's a spiritual element to it too.
Yes, that is so true. And I think what I was so fascinated by, these ladies from Georgia, that I was hanging out with a lot. I mean, I was so proud of those sisters because they were doctors and nurses and CDCs and, working with the CDC. I was just so impressed with those ladies. And it was nice to have that kind of connection here in Oregon because, I mean, we're getting there with our Black Girls Wine. Met a lot of nice people here too as well, and that are nurses and doctors. It's just nice to see. It really is.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Well, and the connection too, I think with Black Girls Wine, Regina, do you want to give the background on Black Girls Wine, your friend who was your sister Shayla?
The founder, Shayla, is one of my sorority sisters. And so she is, grown this thing to be, nationwide in the United States. And I think there are, plans for international chapters. And so Donna came early on when I opened my shop, because I'm active in my chapters now. And so she came, because of another sorority sister. And so we connected in a way that, obviously I'm definitely into wine, and she was too. And so when she said that they were going to Oregon, I said, well, I have got to connect you with my sister Carrie, who lives there and has been living there for quite some time. And then she told me about you. And then so the connection, I mean, I was literally sitting in my office in my shop having a Zoom meeting with them there. It was like so surreal.
Yeah.
And Carrie was like right smack in the middle of them. There is power in the connection. There's power in commonalities. And so then all the superficial, the skin, the hair, all the stuff washes away and you become human
I
beings.
know.
Yeah.
And so that is so powerful because you learn from people's stories, and I don't care if they're white, black, Asian. I don't care what the makeup is. Everybody learns from everybody's story. I get so much from everybody's stories. So that's why we do this vlogcast, is to learn. There's a wine element, obviously, in this space, but I think the bigger picture is the stories.
Yeah.
How did you get to where you are now? So that other people who might be, just sitting on the fence. I mean, I left a corporate career in finance to pursue my wine life. And, whether it was popular or not, didn't matter. But I had people along the way to help me. And it was great. And so, hearing your story inspires me, so.
Aww.
It's just a chain of events. And so kind of how do we keep that lineage going amongst women and people? Just, it doesn't have to be women, but anybody who has a passion, a dream, is willing to learn from other people. I think all the things that keep us buried fall away. And then you just realize these are beating hearts and human beings and blood running through this shell of who we are.
Yeah, I agree with you so on that. And I think the biggest thing is that we have to empower each other, especially as women. We've already fighting against everything else. And it's like, the one thing that I can't stand is when I see somebody that looks beautiful to me, or somebody that, I like the way they hair or the clothes they're wearing, I always stop and say, oh my God, you look so pretty today. Or I always say that. And why do we have to have jealousy? We already got enough stuff going on. What we should be doing is uplifting each other.
From you to tell somebody they're beautiful. I mean, we did a little wind down Wednesday yesterday in my shop. And I have to tell you, so these ladies, two ladies who didn't know they were going to wear the same color, they wore these beautiful yellow dresses. And it struck me because I love yellow. And so they were so beautiful. Like, I literally, one lady was like 64 years old, and she was like pumping these stiletto heels that would just, I can't even wear them. And I was like, well, what are you doing? Because she looked amazing.
Yes.
And why can we do more of that?
You just got to put yourself out there. And if somebody don't like what you say, you just say, okay, I just wanted to give you a compliment just because you look nice, or you're beautiful because you're a female, and I just want to empower you. That's all what it's about.
It is. It's total empowerment. I agree.
Well, and I also, yes, I think it's about empowerment, but it's also, Regina, one of the very first things you and I talked about, and we've known each other about 15 minutes, is you just laid it on the line and you talked about underneath, we all have the same beating heart. And you just said it again, like 3 minutes ago. Our skin is only the shell. Underneath, we're all the same. That's
right. You cut us, we're going to bleed, and it's going to be red.
We're going to bleed. And so I find it funny, not funny, I just find it ironic that we place so much emphasis. And ladies, we always like to look good. We were just talking about, I was like, I need this little collagen or whatever. And we all have our personal things, but it doesn't create a wall such that I would say that I want to not connect with other women. Maybe they don't look like me, maybe they do. But it's the energy. It's like that is, put out by a human being. It's what I connect to. Whether I don't know if they look like me or not, but the energy is what draws me to that person.
I agree. That is so true. And again, that's the only way I think we're going to continue to make change, is that we all have to look outside of that, the color of your skin and this and that. And I know that's big right now. I'm not knocking any of that at all. because some of this stuff has been a little crazy. However, again, I was taught that you treat people how they treat you, whether they black, brown, blue, or purple. You treat people how they treat you. If they disrespect you, then you have a problem with them.
Yeah, it can be problematic at that point, but until
Mm-hmm.
that happens, like I just take individuals because it's just like I wouldn't want someone to make a blanket statement about all Black women. I
Mm-hmm.
cannot make that same statement about all women, all people, or anything. I take it, it's every human being is so very different. They're made up different. And that's what you deal with. It's the human being in front of you. To
Yes.
me, is how I have been able to, kind of navigate through all of the things. It's because I take each human being as they come.
Mm-hmm.
Now, have I been, have I faced racism? Of course I have. Of
Oh
course
yeah. Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
I recognize it when I see it, but it's not something that I'm like, that's, like I'm going to say every white person I meet is a racist. I'm not, that's like not even in my thought.
Mm-hmm. You're not
I'm
looking
miss
for
out
that.
on something.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And Carrie, we've had many conversations about this. And so again, like I said, we are wine people first, but we're human beings and we're women, and we really want to empower other women, other people, other human beings
Mm-hmm.
through this broadcast because we're highlighting people who are doing amazing things, and you are just absolutely one of those people.
Trailblazer.
Thank you so much.
You're a trailblazer, and I'm looking at these wines. So we've got your Pinot Gris and the Pinot Noir and the Rosé.
Mm-hmm.
You're not only the first female African American winemaker, but you have got a whole portfolio of wines. It's so fun to look and learn about this. I mean, and another great name for our daughters, Rosé. Do you see that,
Mm-hmm.
Regina? I love that.
I love
Yeah,
that.
this is dedicated to my daughter, of course,
Of course.
and to my 4 nieces and my sister. And basically, this wine is all about, connecting, as we've been talking about all this time, connecting
Right,
each other together,
right.
empowering our family as well. And because they all are so intelligent. Oh my God, all my nieces and my sister, she's a doctor, Dr. Stoney at Kansas State. Um,
Love it.
yes, she's just fantastic. I'm just not even joking. And then my 2 nieces, one, I don't know what, they just graduated from engineering school. And then my other 2 nieces, they're in medical field. And I just wanted to, you know, let people know that these ladies are just probably an apple of my eye. They are there for me as well, supporting me through this journey.
And I
And
think that's a beautiful testimony. And your journey is, I think, when you're a trailblazer, like you are, to have not only your sister friends, but to have, the daughters and the women in your family be supportive too. You're really blessed. So
I am.
That you are blessed for sure.
yeah.
And I think this is amazing.
Yes.
If
Well,
you had to give some advice to an up and coming person who wanted to be a winemaker,
Hmm.
who is female or whatever, black, white, whatever,
Hmm.
what advice would you give them?
Well, the
Like,
first advice I would definitely give them is to believe in yourself, no matter what. Have a support system around you. Save, save, save. And if you're pursuing the winemaking career, get in there, study as much as you can, find someone that can be your mentor. And I mean a true mentor, somebody's going to stay with you no matter what, through thick and thin. You don't have to say, okay, I can't see you today. I don't want. That's the one thing I did even in social services right today. Somebody would come to me and say, I need some help. Can you help me? And I go, okay, yes, I can do that for you. And I stay with them until they get what they need.
yeah,
I think that's really important. That's my goal at some point when I am done with all of this schooling and stuff. I would really like for someone, sorry about that background. I really like to have someone, some young lady or, whomever, to help them pursue their career in winemaking. But be persistent, be patient, take time out with them. You know, questions, ain't nothing wrong with questions. You know what I mean? No question is stupid. I don't know how many times my teacher told me that. And that is true. And a lot of time people are so afraid to ask those questions. You know, I still ask questions. Even though I've been in wine for a long time, I mean, this is a different story here. You're talking chemistry and you're talking, you know, mixing things together and making this work over here. And I was out with Michael Landine a couple of months ago. And I was like, oh, tell me how you did that, because that don't taste the same as this one. Tell me what. I am never too old to learn.
And I think we can't ever be too old to learn. I think once you stop learning, you just become stagnant and you just kind of fall off the wagon. I think we all learn every single day. So I'm so curious about life and any new thing I can learn. I love it.
Never think you're too smart. You know, that's what I always say, because it's always, as my dad always says, his famous word, just keep living. And that is a true statement, because you just never know what you're going to learn. I mean, like, I know we hadn't talked about the Pinot Noir and the Pinot Gris, but like the sparkling wine that I'm making, I've never done this before, you know, and so this is exciting to me. I've been waiting for it for 3 years, of course, but it's like, this is exciting. This is exciting for me. And it's like, ooh, I can't wait. And we're going to do the disengorgement at the end of the month, at the end of August. And it's like, oh my God, I'm so excited about that. And it's new. And of course, I haven't put that out there. But to me, sparkling wine is just groovy, groovy, groovy. I'm going to go back in the day.
And that's about the only thing you can drink here in Georgia right now, because it's so hot. Nobody's like drinking like anything heavy, but I love a sparkling. I love sparkling. So what is the grape varietals in your sparkling?
So the grape varietals are really Chardonnay, of course, and a little bit of the Pinot Noir. You know, it's a little bit off because it's a rosé, and so it's off of the Pinot Noir.
Okay, so it's a rosé. Okay, awesome.
So I think it's going to be very good.
Well, those are two classic blending wines, you know.
Yeah.
Sparkling, beautiful, beautiful blend.
I tell you, when I went to Napa for Black Girls Wine, I think that was in April, May. And I don't know if you guys know Mr. Mack. He's the founder of the African American Vintner.
Andre Mack?
Yeah, no, not Andre Mack.
Oh.
It's the older gentleman.
The older, yes, I do.
Oh my God, don't get mad at me, Mr. Mack. I love you. So I was so nervous to meet him. I went to his house because he's like huge. Everybody knows him in California. Of course, he's well known. He was the founder of the African American Vintners. And so I went to his house, met him for the first time, and I was there. I thought, well, I'll probably just be here for about 45 minutes. I just wanted to meet you. I was told I needed to meet you before I left Napa. Met him, and I was there for 7 hours. He sat there, and see, this is what I mean. You should never be afraid to learn from the vets. I'm just going to say that, because he taught me how to blend. And I was like, no, we can't do it that way. And he's like, what do you mean we can't do it that way? I said, you can't take this wine and blend it. I know we can, but it's like, don't you have to have this over here and this over? And he's like, no. So he pulled out, I believe it was a Sauvignon Blanc and then a Rosé. And he had me pour them in the glass. And he said, okay, we're going to pour a little bit of this in here. We're going to pour a little bit of that in there. People think you have to put this just in one. He said, no, you grab one barrel, you grab the other barrel, and you pour this and pour it, and then you get your flavors and you get what you want. And that was just such an enlightening thing to me. I mean, to sit there with this vet. I mean, he is a vet. I'm not going to lie, and very well known all over, everywhere. Everybody knows him. And that for him to sit there and take that time out with me and show me how to do some blends without having to, he said, because you don't want to waste wine. You just grab, your favorite wine, your Pinot Gris. He said, like, you have a Pinot Gris and a Pinot Noir, put that together, and that'll make a rosé for you. Depends on how light you want it. You add a little bit of this in there, add a little bit of Pinot Gris. If you want it lighter, you add a little. If you want it darker, you put a little bit of that Pinot Noir in there. And then he had me taste all three of them, and I was like, I like the middle one. He said, then that's the one you should do.
Wow, that is a fantastic story.
He was just the coolest. And when I told him about how I finally, after, and I'm very thankful going through, with Abbey Creek and Shadow Bianca, I said, I finally found somebody that's going to take me. And oh my God, this is like big to me. I mean, I was crying, and he was like, okay, so let me tell you what you don't do now. You need to sit back and just listen he's probably going to kill me. Just, you know, you need to just sit back and listen. Don't try to tell them what to do. They're the winemakers. He's been it for 20 years. He knows what he's doing. And I was like, okay. And, you know, even that little bit, even though I do know what I'm doing, but it's like,
Well,
but he has been in there.
he's just trying to offer you some of his, you know, wisdom and, you know, in this viticulture, his vintner years, and that's invaluable to you coming up. You know what I mean?
He called me, and it was just the neatest thing. I just want to check in on you and see how you're doing. And he checked that, and I only met that man once.
Wow.
And my whole family was there. My brother was there, my sister was there, and my daughter was there. And he kept looking at my daughter. He says, "Let me tell you how to do this. This is the way you should do it, and this is how you should do your books."
Trying to bring her up along.
Yes. He's giving me
She gonna have
people to call.
Yes.
That's exactly what he said. He said, "This is about your legacy." That's what he told Dominique.
He
said, "This is your legacy."
And how many legacies in our community, you know, do we have in wine? That is phenomenal.
It's crazy. And I love making wine, so I'm just gonna keep going and going and going until they tell me that's enough.
Well, it won't ever be enough, because you're gonna have a long legacy. And so I'm just really anxious to get you into Georgia market.
Well, I will be there. I'll bring my little wines with me so they can sample and taste, and I can ship you some too. You just make sure you give me your address, and you can try them beforehand. You tell me what you like, what you don't like. I got thick skin. That's what I tell people all the time. Ain't nothing gonna hurt my feelings. You know, I might cry every once in a while because I just need to. But if you don't like it, you don't like it. Not everybody's wine is, you know.
I say that same thing when I put wines on our tasting station, and I said it's not going to hurt my feelings. I taste everything before I bring it into my shop. So I, you know, put things on the tasting station I think are great. Some people don't think it's so great. It's fine. Yeah. It's not a problem with me. I have a very thick skin. I'm like Venice Vinifera. Great.
And everybody's palate is different, you know, like the other wine that I'm making, of course, is Riesling. And I'm not a big Riesling fan, but a lot of people have been asking me to make the Riesling. I like it a little bit more drier than what it is, but some people like it a little bit more sweeter.
And that's the great thing about Riesling. It can be vinified sweet or dry. It's a great for mass appeal.
All about the palate.
You're in the right place too, Donna, because with Walnut City Wineworks, as you mentioned, you have the very talented winemaker Michael Lundeen. You yourself obviously have experience and are a talented winemaker. And then at the helm of Walnut City Wineworks is my dear friend John Davidson, who was part of the Geezers Grape Growing Club with my father. Love that name. So the Geezers Grape Growers, since we planted our vineyard in the early 70s, and as did the other Geezers, and Vicki Raff and Jim Marsh, who actually unfortunately is recently deceased. John Davidson was the geezer in waiting. Geezer in waiting, that was John Davidson's term. He called himself the geezer in waiting because he was a younger geezer. And then we had another female geezer. She was the geezerette, and her name is Vivian Weber. So the geezers, I will put video footage on the vlog, but you're an esteemed company with these people who put their time in being the growers in the first generation, and now I think are giving back in a way to community that's really profound. And John Davidson is one of those people who is giving back, and I just see that the synergy of your experience and his experience is going to make really powerful wines. I can't wait.
Yes, I'm excited.
It's
just nice, man. It's nice to be around, and how weird it is how we just connected. It's just crazy to me how you just connect. And you and I, you know, it's like, and I just happened to, we were talking. I say, so now I'm over here, and you're like, oh my God, I know these, and that just blew me away.
Yeah.
So, I still don't know the whole how did the whole thing happen?
So go ahead, Carrie.
Well, it happened because the Black Girls Wine group, the wonderful ladies from the Atlanta chapter, the 4 of them, that you connected me with, Regina, when they visited, and I showed you that blog post about it. They were in the limo and going out to see at Abbey Creek, and the air conditioning broke. June 27th, the hottest, literally hottest day of the year.
Oh, it was hot.
110 degrees. So these poor ladies, anyway. So I went out there and I got them, and we came back and turned around and came. That was in North Plains, which is way out of Portland and in the middle of a wheat field, basically. And then we drove 45 minutes to Argyle Winery to see the jazz legend Mike Phillips.
Yeah, he was good.
Oh my gosh! And there we met, and they had planned to meet Donna Stoney, and I was just the driver. And I was not even going to go to the concert because I didn't even think they had tickets. Well, as I parked the car, they got out of the car and they walked over, and pretty soon they came back and they said, "Get out of the car, you're coming to the concert." It made me cry. And so they got me a ticket, and here I am walking into Argyle, and then here's Donna right there with the Black Girls Wine Group, and I'm sister from another mother having the time of my life.
Yeah, and they had given me like a list, and they had told me they were going to Abbey Creek, and I had not met you, and I thought to myself, okay, I really want to meet this lady, and so, yeah, I mean, it's just kismet how everything worked out, and so I'm just thankful to be here on this call, having this conversation with you too tonight. It's tonight.
Just so weird.
It's like almost 8:00 here in Atlanta.
Oh, I forget about that 3-hour difference.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Regina and I have even taped in the middle of the night once. We were talking to Paris. Regina had a winemaker friend in Paris. And yeah, so what was that for you? That was like 2 a.m. We were talking to Paris.
Yeah, it was like 1:30 or 2 a.m. So I just got up.
Oh my goodness.
What we got to do, we got to do.
You got to do what you have to do in business, don't you?
Yeah,
that's right. And then we were set up once to talk to a monastery. We talked to Georgia, the country of Georgia once. That was another one.
Oh, yeah.
12 hours different. We haven't done China yet, but that's about as far away as Georgia, the country of Georgia. Anyway. So you know, 3 hours, not so bad, really.
Not too bad.
You know, I was just in Arizona last week on a getaway, sister friends,
yes.
Her sister friends trip, and it was, you know, you get to start the whole day over. You know, my flight left from here at like 8:18, and then I get there and it's like 9:00 in the morning. I was like, oh, I'm getting the whole day. So I get to take a nap and I get to go to the spa.
Time zones. Ooh.
Well, we're excited too when you come out, Regina, in September too. We'll have to all get together.
Yes, for sure.
So whenever you let me know when you're coming here. I don't know if Donna's gonna have you come out of shop or not, but definitely want to connect at least one of my, if we cross paths and I'm in Oregon and you're here, to connect one of my staff members with you.
Okay.
Just say hey, and I definitely want to get the wines here in Georgia, because I think it could be amazing. Sister friends will do very well here.
Yes. Well, you send me your address, or Carrie, you have my email.
I do.
And just send it to me and I'll send you some samples so you can taste them and and see how it goes.
And let's leave some words for our viewers about, do you have anything in closing that you want to say? And I love what Regina said, some advice for people who are just starting out in the industry, or even for women in the business world to persevere to get to where you are today. What would it be? Don't quit, keep going.
Definitely keep going. Don't quit, no matter how hard it gets. Know that you have support, even if it's just one person.
That's right.
Awesome.
Well put. The only failure is when you give up. Seriously.
Yeah, and especially if you put a lot of time and energy into it and you know you can do it. And you know what? Here's the thing. you're going to fail at some point anyway. You know, something's going to go wrong. Something's not going to go right.
You fail forward. Everybody fails forward.
Exactly. But I think and I think it's good when things happen that don't, you know, you think it's going to go this way and it don't. Yes, because it makes you stronger. That's probably why we got this thick skin. Like I never thought that I would be, you know, starting out a company, even with StoneyBrooke Residential. I never thought, I just wanted to do one home, right? And had like maybe 4 employees. Well, I never thought here, now I have 48 employees. So it's like, you never know, because I just kept growing and growing. And people still are asking me, can you do this? Can you do this? Can you get a home for kids? Can you get more? No, I don't want to do no more, because wine is my next chapter right now. And that's what I really want to focus on.
Yeah. Well, you have shared your time, and it's been an invaluable conversation, and I look forward to having more.
In the midst of a crazy day.
Yeah.
Yes.
What a
social services at work.
Still persistent.
Wow. And with that in mind, we are signing off, and with great affection and appreciation for your time, and you, Donna, and my sister Regina. Love you both. Signing off, Wine Sisters of the Vine.
Thank you.
Thank you. Cheers.
Bye. Cheers.